We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. It is Reality Rants with Jason Bermas. I am that guy. redvoicemedia.com/Jason for all the past shows, including the second hour and the uncensored portion of the broadcast that even if you don't want to participate in live, 2 weeks later, these interviews, these breakdowns, these watch-alongs, things that, in my opinion, are extremely relevant, are there for you, free. So check those out as well. You like what I'm doing, please consider supporting me over at Red Voice Media, as well as you can check out a lot of the individual stuff that I just did over at the Clay Clark event. I'll also be posting my individual speech in full over at places like the Rockfin, where you also got the Peter McCullough interview, and you're going to get the Jay Dyer interview as well. It's important for me to put this stuff out in as many places as possible. Why? Because this is about the information. I saw Peter McCullough yesterday just killing it all over InfoWars, not only on the Alex Jones show, but also on Harrison Smith. Very gracious with his time, very smart and astute, and sticking to what he can directly point to. Does not delve into any of the speculative things, and I can respect him for that. We may not agree on everything, but at the same time, I know that this is a genuine guy out there really doing the rounds. See, Peter McCullough does what people that actually care about people do. They say, hey, this is important. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to talk to everybody. I've been to 4 of these events now. I have not seen one person of the caliber of McCullough. In other words, somebody who you see on mainline television, who has been very, very close to this thing from the very beginning. Go through and just take the time with as many people as possible. He also did a great interview with the Pirate Stream folks, which is now a part of TLAV, the Last American Vagabond. And I spent 20 minutes with them on their show yesterday, on Monday. We played, I believe it was on the free side of the broadcast, my little 10-minute talk. On the premium side of the broadcast, I'm going to play about a 20-minute talk we did inside. The mic they gave me was kind of trash, so I'm sorry about that, but most everybody else sounds really, really good. So that should be a good one as well. But just getting back to McCullough and how much he actually cares and how much media suppression was around him. It is the inverse of reality that people like McCullough are pushed down and other people are elevated. And now I'm going to get into, what most people see in the thumbnail. And they, maybe if you're new to the broadcast, if you've just come in because you saw my presentation on transhumanism, or, you're a Red Voice Media person and you've kind of got to know me in the past couple of months or weeks, etc. Why are you talking about the UFC and Conor McGregor? Well, because it's a microcosm for how the entire system works and how McGregor is a brand to a brand really to Disney ultimately. And that's what's really scary. You look at Disney and how much media they actually own and control. And Disney's advertising across the board. Now, look, they can put out crap, basically, that a bunch of people just don't want, and it's not going to do well. That's still a reality. Buzz Lightyear, or Lightyear, or whatever it is, that's a great example. But they have advertising across the board. They have their stuff everywhere, and they're involved in sports. They're ESPN. Okay? That's part of the Disney bundle, the ESPN Plus bundle. And in the United States, you can't get a UFC pay-per-view unless you're subscribed to ESPN Plus. It's one of the few streaming services that I have just because of that. Okay? So, Conor McGregor, I want to be very careful about this because I'm not trying to get anybody sued. I'm only going to show you what's publicly available knowledge, but I'm going to hope that you have discernment. Okay? There has been a multitude of stories and information out there that I believe if it were anybody else, and by anybody else, I mean a lower level athlete, a lower level political figure, even someone lower level in Hollywood, as long as the buck stopped with them, it would be everywhere. There'd be no hiding this anymore. And what am I talking about? The multiple allegations and stories that Conor McGregor is a brutal, violent, serial, starts with an R, ends with a not so great stuff. How about we'll say it like that for now, till we go uncensored. Now, and I've said it heavier before that. But in these attacks, and they are attacks that are alleged to have happened, we're not just talking he said, she said stuff. We're talking putting people in the hospital. And we're going to get down and dirty on this incident all the way back in December of 2018. And by the way, that would not be the first incident that was investigated or reported to law enforcement. So all I'm going to say to start is, when you have somebody that does these type of violent things to women, they don't stop. That's not something that just goes, whoa, we're done. Especially when we're talking about the types of things that are alleged to have happened. So why am I bringing this up now? Well, there's a story out yesterday that when I read the quote for you, okay, of this woman saying, allege what happens, she alleges that on a boat over the summer, and now we're in January. January's almost done. She's talking about like 6 months ago. It shows you the media suppression of these stories, and I'm going to show you even more real-time big tech suppression for an MMA fighter. And somebody that doesn't even, win necessarily. In fact, been kind of a loser lately, but it doesn't matter because he draws money. It's a brand. Okay, this is about protecting a brand. And it doesn't matter who gets hurt along the way. Harvey Weinstein, anybody? And don't worry, we're going to make even more of a connection there. Believe it or not. Connections you're probably not going to see coming. But You look at this right here. We're going to start here. And this is what's out yesterday. People are sending me. Okay? Conor McGregor's alleged assault case reopened. A woman is suing the Irish UFC legend for assaulting her when on his yacht celebrating his birthday. On July 17th of last year, Conor McGregor decided to celebrate his 34th birthday in style with a big party on his yacht in the Balearic Islands, I think in Ibiza, yeah, passing through Ibiza and Formentera, among other areas. The party, though, didn't go as expected. Oh, didn't it, though? Since the Irish fighter himself was denounced by a woman who claimed to have been attacked by him. The alleged victim reported having been beaten when she was rescued from the sea by a Red Cross rescue boat. She also stated that she had suffered bruises all over her body and several fractures in her hand. She accused McGregor of badly hurting one of her wrists after having kicked and punched her, as well as forcing her to get out of his boat. Okay? I mean, when she got to her country, she was assisted by a Spanish lawyer, and she was able to issue a statement to the Irish Garda, that's their police, for more than 6 hours. Okay? So she presented her complaint and took legal action against the UFC fighter, as reported by newspaper Ultima Hora. Okay, so I just want to say this. You notice that he seems to be protected by the Irish police. This is something that happened this summer. Okay, let me read a quote from the victim, who is actually named, or alleged victim. All right. By the way, I can confirm a court in Ibiza is investigating an Irish national for an alleged crime of wounding. For the alleged crime of wounding. You know, there are videos out there of McGregor, and look, I've played some of them on the broadcast because we've been doing this now for literally 4 years. It's about 4 years now. I've been warning people, and allegedly he broke this. Forget about just fractures in the wrist. We're think about that. Broke fractures in her hand and wrist. Maybe broke this girl's arm. It was if he was possessed. Okay? Paradiso de Ibiza. This is the report right here. It was if he was possessed. He was possessed. So I guess they didn't name her. That's the paper. She claimed in her statement, "I knew I had to leave the boat because I thought he was going to kill me. We have common friends, and I have met him on a number of occasions. I can't believe what he did to me. I think he would have killed me if I hadn't left the yacht." Okay? So, that should have been a huge story everywhere. Think about the scandals with celebrity and sports stars. Think about the Mike Tyson stuff. All right, where that was a he said, she said thing. This guy has allegedly physically assaulted 2 women where he kicked and punched them. In the other case, it put the person in a chokehold, allegedly. We're going to do a lot of allegedlys here. Now, Disney is supposed to be all wholesome, isn't it? Isn't it? Now, we all know that's a bunch of crap. But how does this work? Well, before we get to another story, another bizarre story. By the way, McGregor's, and I'll play this video because it's you still have to, like, you know what's going on, but it's not sexually explicit. It's basically McGregor on a boat being topped off. He's posting that after the cowboy fight, which was right after this other incident that we're going to go hardcore into. Okay, where Cowboy was asked at they were all asked at the press conference, and Cowboy's the one that spoke up to shut up the New York Times reporter, I believe it was, that dared ask about the case we're going to go into. Right after that, there's a video of McGregor in a bed, actually Jake Paul, and let's see if we can bring that one up too. Jake Paul trolls McGregor, but with video of him in bed. Yeah, the thing is that when you do things on Google, it's almost impossible to find a good result, and I'm going to show you that in a second too. Okay, and I don't want to bring up anything live right there, but let's see if we can go to DuckDuckGo, because we had to do it earlier, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Let's go to DuckDuckGo and see if that will bring it up. That video I can kind of play. There it is right there. So first of all, I just want everybody to understand how Google, all right, the authoritative sources, the thing that Eric Schmidt wants to give you one answer on, protects people. I mean, they're protecting somebody that's alleged to have done terrible things. I had to go to DuckDuckGo to get that result, and that's not the only one. There's another incident I'm going to show you right here, okay, where he allegedly cornered a woman in a Corsica bar, a married woman, in a bathroom while he was with like his security, like in like not the actual bathroom, but while you're waiting in that area, and just whipped it right out. Exhibited his private parts. All right? It's back in 2020. So, I typed in McGregor corners woman by bathroom. And it's women. I typed. So that's the suggestion I get. And then this right here is the new assault case. There's nothing. A McGregor landing, bed and bathrooms. Okay? There's nothing here. Nothing in the Google results with that same phrase. Okay, same phrase, DuckDuckGo. First thing. Second thing. Third thing. The top 3 results are exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. Okay? So, this video here that Jake Paul is putting out, that's McGregor in bed, and this woman, let's go right here, because I want to see if I can find an image of it, or just the video of it. Because I don't want to play Jake Paul's video. It's like 10 seconds long. But maybe we'll just go there. Oh, see, it's MMA crazy. Exactly. Good thing I didn't go and touch that, because it didn't have anything on there. It's just a thumbnail for nonsense. But that is the video. I want to make that extremely clear. That's real. I've played the whole video. If you go back and watch my coverage of that when that happened after the Cowboy fight, I play that video. Okay, so he's not a good guy. The media portrays him as a family man. They show him on his boat and smiling with his kids. Or he's got his babies and he's got D in the back. He's a family man. Right after the incident in 2019, by the way. Or I'm sorry, 2018. They had him in a purple suit with his kid in a purple suit at the Super Bowl. I wanted to puke. I want to puke right now. People like this don't stop. And just to throw fuel on the fire a little bit of what a bizarre... I mean, this guy, he's not there. He's not there. So, this was a story I kind of alluded to. McGregor's X-rated online activity leaves fans stunned. Yeah, because he's liking videos of dudes doing the old tosserton. Okay? I mean, like... A man pleasure himself posted by a Twitter user called Bro Goals AF. Okay, so basically when somebody you follow, and this guy's got almost 10 million followers, likes something or reposts something, it'll show up in your feed. This is how gone he is. All right? Or somebody's having fun with his phone because, you know, I don't even want to get into the possibilities here. Okay? But now we're going to show you the cover-up. We're going to show you what no one else will talk about and how if we continue to allow this person to not be in jail, more people will be hurt. Let me repeat what we started with. This latest incident allegedly happened 6 months ago where he kicked and punched a woman and tossed her off a boat where she was rescued by the Red Cross. He's a family man. He's in the new movie Roadhouse. Oh, he's the new Patrick Swayze. Okay. So we're going to put this for all the newbies, not that there's a ton of newbies out there, over in the YouTube feed. And you can share it amongst, if you're over by Rockfin. In fact, we'll put it in the Rockfin feed too. And by the way, I appreciate the Tipsky and Hutch over at the Rockfin. Hans Amir. Conor and Dana should be in jail. I hope Scott buys one day. Also, Jason, you cannot see my comments on YouTube. Also, they haven't drug tested Conor for 5 years. Conor has done worse than John Coke Jones and has been punished at all. Also, Randy told Ngannou to leave the UFC. Maybe later this year, Ngannou and Randy will try to sue the UFC in DC. You know, I do the show with John Fitch, and we're constantly talking about the Ali Act. You know, Couture's a legend. I don't want to make this into an MMA show because really we haven't really talked about much MMA. Dana White, on the other hand, I mean, he's got the slap scandal. We talked about that on Mixed Martial Mindset. You know, if people are outraged about what Dana White did, Dana White covering this up is a bigger deal. And the fact that Ari Emanuel, who, I mean, these are high-level gangsters. We're getting into the billions of dollars. They will cover for Conor. So, I've got to point it out. We're going to start here on the thread. Let's see. And what I've done is, as we go down the thread, we're also going to skip to the article itself. So, Irish Central, this is talking to a police source. And that's the thing. The beat cops are good. The regular investigators are good. They want to tell you the truth. At the end of the day, there is no doubt that the young lady suffered a horrendous ordeal. The examinations and all, not some, all of the evidence shows that she was R-word and very badly assaulted in that penthouse suite. Now, here's the article. Too afraid to give statement on alleged, you know what, by Irish sports star. And that's how they refer to this incident, by an Irish sports star all throughout the European media because of certain laws. Now, I want people to think about this really quickly. Yeah, it sounds well and good that people that are accused, and by the way, look at it, December 13th, 2018. Okay? Happened in December of 2018. And is there any justice for this? Obviously, there doesn't seem to be any real prosecution of these high-level people. So then they can never be named, whether they did the crime or not. And if you do that, you can be sued. And you put that in conjunction with the hate speech laws they have, huh? That's really good stuff, isn't it? So you basically have a priest class that decides what the great narrative is. And if you're important to that priest class in any way, they'll protect you just like they protect themselves. All right, let's get to the second. Well, that's one story, Jason. That's just one story that you got a scared woman, you know. The woman who is accused, an international renowned Irish sports star, of you-know-what in Battery at the South Dublin Hotel Penthouse is too terrified to make a formal statement to the police. On Monday morning, police were called to the woman's home where she was made initial complaints. She alleges that she met with the famous Irish sports star in a Dublin while socializing with friends. The woman and sportsman, who were known to each other, then went to a high-end South Dublin hotel where she alleges the attack took place. It's pretty a brutal attack too. We'll see how far we get down the line and what we do on the uncensored portion of the broadcast. And really, look, I know there are some people out there that are like, why do you do YouTube anyway, Jason? They're just such a censor box. Why don't you just exclusively do it here or there? Because we want to reach people and bring people over. Period. Okay? We want people to share the information. I have a whole thread here that's 0 Jason Bermas. And look at what we really got. At the end of the day, some of these things, yeah, we got a couple. This thread has been around since 2019. Couple hundred retweets and likes. Couple hundred. And then on the bottom, something like this. I mean, come on, guys. You want to help me get this stuff out and show people that Disney, ESPN, the UFC protect alleged brutal, violent rapists that don't seem to be stopping and are physically assaulting women. You know, join the party. Join the party. So it's a pretty big thread. Mom who accused Irish sports star was found battered and bruised. Discussing the statements made by others, eyewitnesses, by the way, these statements are hugely detailed and complex and go into the minute detail of every aspect of the night of attack. So right here, here's the article here, okay? That's what they had established. They have to examine CCTV and other details. Forensic examinations have also been carried out. All right? The women met, we got that part, traveled in there at some point between midnight and 3 a.m. It allegedly occurred. The woman is a mother of a young child and is in a relationship with another man. Okay. Sources said the sports star has not been spoken to and the woman is yet to make a statement. In fact, he turns himself in, I believe, January 17th, and they just let him go. He says it's, what, consensual. And correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. There were reports that basically McGregor had showed up with a lawyer before being named. Okay, and then being sent on his way. The police are yet to speak to the sports star and are unlikely to do so before the alleged victim makes a formal statement. Police are eager to speak with the alleged victim and friends she was socializing with on Saturday and Sunday evening. Yeah, eager indeed. And then you get all this. I mean, there will be a lot of CCTV for the investigators to examine, and this will be critical. The woman made a report at a Garda station in South Wales, West Dublin, and has not made a statement. You know, by the way, and we'll do this live. Let's see what Google brings us, because 6 months after that, he was alleged to drag a woman from a bar and let's just say oral. Okay, let's see if we can bring that up. McGregor drags woman from bar, and we'll type in oral. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Okay, so the POV thing, we have that video. We're going to wait. So that's what comes up when you drags woman from bar. That's what Google gives you. Okay? Or punching man in pub. Let's see what DuckDuckGo gives you, huh? Let's see if we can get some DuckDuckGoage. That's flash the private parts. Let's see. No. Dragged over bar fight. Wow, that one is a tough one to do. So, safe search is off. We've got news. I'm going to type oral. Let's see. Here's the civil lawsuit. Assault allegations, MMA Mania. There we go. Forced. Well, we don't want to put that up there, obviously. No, we don't need to get into that. So let's see here. Everything we know about, and when's this from? 2019. Okay. And the thing is that this is New York Times garbage. It doesn't go anywhere near it. See, at least they have the Irish Times stuff, and they have Sportsman. Okay. That's it's just, this one is one of the better articles. So at least there was some out there, but you even had Ari there. What's his name? He got Ariel. I'm sorry, Ariel Hawani. Ask McGregor. Oh, in due time. In due time, I'll have a woman allege that I beat her and chased her off a boat later. Okay? She was choked during the ordeal. Oh, that's lovely. Okay? Choked during the ordeal. There were marks of choking around the woman's neck shortly after the incident on Monday morning. Again, multiple articles and nothing. And we haven't even gotten to the really hardcore stuff with this. And listen, I've been around a long time. And I'm very, very, very lucky and blessed to have an audience that, in large part, will at least support me with a thumbs up and a share if they can. Okay? And I had never, ever had videos that were thumbed down as much as my initial videos on Conor McGregor and the story we're going over today. Never. Not even close. Wasn't even ballpark. I had videos where there were more thumbs down, like 60, 70, 60, 40, 70, 30. Like, Bermas, you're a liar. There were trolls in the audience telling me it was Rory McIlroy who was the sports star, or some rugby guy that was in a totally different case. I'm like, no. It's none of those things. Let's get out of imagination land. Now, some of that certainly speaks to this idea of the celebritard culture that we're all engulfed in, right? And how we feel like we need heroes sometimes. And, you don't want to believe your favorite sports guy or your favorite Hollywood person is a bad person, especially with this type of stuff. But then you also have to get into, troll and bot farms. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And if you don't think that when you look at some of these search results for me bringing these stories up that have happened, that I have covered in the past, that there isn't a massive PR team out there not only making that happen, but having people in the comment section what was she doing on that boat, Jason? If she didn't want her hand and arm broken, she shouldn't have been on the boat. Go Conor. Proper 12 whiskey, Reebok. Like, that's. So, as this latest alleged victim said, he looked possessed, looked wired. Famous sports star accused of doing that to a woman in Dublin was wild-eyed during 2-day bender hours before alleged attack. Really weird. And you know what? You can say all you want about the Sun or the Daily Mail. At least they covered it. Or the Mirror, they covered it. At least they covered it. And the New York Times, they whitewashed it in many ways. That's kind of what the New York Times does. Even when they cover something real, they whitewash the hell out of it. You might get a little good information after their list of actual misinformation, disinformation, and lies. But at the same time, they whisper the truth here and there. But it's a whitewash. All right. By the way, he was previously accused of attacking another woman in recent months at a separate venue prior to this. Okay, so the 2-day bender one Okay. Right here. Oh, he was accused of more? Really? Interesting. Huh. Right there. Look at, oh, wow. Wow. I mean, this one's not the beginning. Can you imagine how many people haven't reported this guy? And he'll continually do it again and again and again. There was a member of parliament out there, talking about Irish sports stars raping with impunity. Okay. Irish sports star in Dublin hotel faced other assault allegations. Really? I'm sure that the bathroom incident, that's all made up. I'm sure that this woman just got a little too drunk and slipped and fell off the boat. And nobody rescued her until the Red Cross got there for a reason. I mean, it was probably a party. My God. I mean, my goodness, folks. Okay. So there are reports of previous incidents that have also involved the sports star and members of his entourage in Ireland. These may be revisited. Doesn't seem like they get revisited when you're worth billions. Doesn't see that. And people were like, oh, she's a gold digger. Meanwhile, she is in a deep state of distress. She's absolutely terrified. She was allegedly beaten viciously during the incident. And she is terrified for his life. She is in absolute fear. Part of the problem is the Irish sports star is linked to people who are dangerous. Seems old Mr. McGregor might be, connected to some Kinahan, a.k.a. Irish Mafia. Did you know that, folks? That the Mafia is not just Italian? That organized crime is well and alive throughout the world? Were you aware? I mean, common knowledge. And apparently, Mr. McGregor might have some friends in the business. Forensically, the hotel has been identified and examined by forensic experts. CCTV has been downloaded, and they have spoken to staff. The woman has handed over blood-stained clothing to the police, and that is now being examined. Okay? So, I mean, think about this. They got physical evidence. They got CCTV footage corroborating it. They got eyewitness testimony corroborating it. No arrest. No, instead, she's still so terrified, all right, that and traumatized, doesn't know what to do. And then finally makes the formal statement, I believe somewhere in the range of a month later. And this guy says it's consensual. I'm not sure about you, and let's have a talk before we get into going down more of the line here with how this works and how, again, if big tech can censor for a sports star, if Disney can sell you on this guy, if the vast majority of the world looks up to someone like this as a hero, what can't they build? What persona can't they sell you on? All right, that's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And let's be real with ourselves. Personally, and I would hope that all of my audience, not some, not the vast majority, but all of my audience, in their sexual encounters with other people, not only are they consensual, but you've never hospitalized a person, ever, during a sexual encounter. I certainly haven't. I don't personally know anybody that, I would call a friend that has done anything like that. And in fact, I don't know any enemies that hospitalized a woman through consensual sex. That's imagination land. And yet here we are being gaslit on the idea that, McGregor, this is an alleged incident when he said this was a consensual incident. And when I read you the details on how badly beaten this woman was? Well, you tell me. Again, Karl Rove let you know, everybody. They create reality. Oh, he's a family man by his whiskey. He's a contender in the ring. My God. So, here are the WhatsApp messages. Again, all this stuff was available. I mean, late to the party when I'm putting this out in December of 2019. Because really, it was January of 2019 when I started doing this. So, 4th anniversary right now. On the 4th anniversary of me reporting on this stuff, we got more stories and more things happening. So, let's see. Must be right here. Yes. Let's do it. Let's bring them up. So I've done separate videos on these. And I was able to look up these people that you can see what their names are. Okay. For instance, you see Pippa Doyle. I believe Pippa is one of the journalists. Let's see. We'll find out. Okay. Pippa Doyle. Yes. So you have these journalists that are talking about McGregor and what's happened and the investigators they have on the inside. All right. McGregor is getting named for what? Tomorrow or today or tomorrow. The Mail UK and Ireland pulled all their staff into a massive meeting about it last night. Oh, poor D. Oh, it's so unfortunate that his wife doesn't speak up. And she's in the situation. Yeah, they're the ones breaking it because obviously over in the UK they can't afford to be sued for millions and millions if he claims it's not him. So people were telling me that the WhatsApp messages were fake. And obviously they weren't. And they talk about the investigation. And wait till you hear what they say about that investigation. The inside track on the McGregor incident. I can't say this is 100% truth, but sources have spoken to one of the detectives working the case. Sunday night, McGregor and his goons are boozing in town somewhere. Don't know which bar exactly. A bird comes up to him and he introduces herself and says that her boyfriend is friends with Aaron McGregor's boyfriend. And Conor is giving it the big one in front of his mates and starts saying, would you go out coming over to talking about your boyfriend? Tell the truth. You're looking for the ride. And his mates are all laughing. And she's like, no, I'm not. And it ends with him telling her he guarantees he'll be riding her later. So, apparently this is in the bar prior. Now, obviously, this guy's on a 2-day bender. And I would imagine the nose candy is involved in all this. Later on, the party moves back to the Beacon Hotel in Sandyford. And she comes back to the session. And McGregor is trying it on with her. And she is like, get off. And starts getting handsy and physical with her. She ends up slapping him. Okay, and he flips and beats her up and holds her. So again, this is a group party. So holds her down and what's her. She's on her period. So he actually anally rapes her. I mean, I've been trying not to say the R word. And when you get to this part, it's pretty terrible. Okay. She's obviously distraught and goes straight to SATU in the rotunda. And SATU call the guards who arrive there and try to find out what happened. They don't get much info out of her other than she was in the hotel in the south side somewhere. Not sure why they thought it was Dublin too. But the guards in Perth Street and Donnybrook get assigned anyway. But here we go. This is where it's alleged to have happened. But then McGregor and his lawyer present themselves at Black Rock Garda Station the next day looking to give a statement. And the guards in Black Rock are like, why the fuck did you come in here? And told him they didn't know why he was about and left. So apparently he just shows up and then later on says it's consensual. Showed up with a lawyer. Huh. Then somewhere over the next few days, it came to their attention that the incident happened in the Beacon, and that's why he came to Black Rock. The girl doesn't know what she wants to do now, whether she wants to go through with the complaint or what, so we'll just have to wait and see. But that's the story from a semi-reliable source. And again, I'm not saying this. I'm reading what was out there. The detective dealing with it is very experienced with sorts of cases and has dealt with putting away Graham Dwyer. He's effed, totally. I saw her 4 days later. She was in bits. So she must have been in a right state after it happened. In other words, 4 days later, she is beaten. He didn't use a condom, came inside her, left her covered in bruises, and she had throat injuries, which were consistent with someone held in a chokehold like the ones he applied in the ring. His DNA is all over her. And again, he tried to ride her vaginally and rammed her tampon up into her cervix, so she had to have it surgically removed. Always kind of stopped there for a second to let people know really the gravity of that situation. Okay? And, I wish that wasn't the way things were, by the way. So during all of this, RTE, which was a European outlet, leaked that McGregor had presented himself in connection with the case, and it was in fact him. They almost got fined a massive amount of money for someone doing that. And then only 1 in 12 rape claims advances to conviction over in Ireland. 1 in 12. This one obviously didn't. This one obviously didn't, folks. Okay? So, as I go down the line and kind of wrap it up, this person turned down $1 million cash offer, still didn't get their day in court. My brother sent me this, and basically he was claiming, and I don't know whether this is true or not, that this is the alleged victim who had a Twitter and hasn't posted since 2020. All right? But at least somebody is out there posting what's actually going on. And all of these are just allegations. I'm sure where there's smoke, there's not fire, especially in this case, when continually things like, women are having things broken on a boat. And you're not hearing about them for 6 months. Let's put that into perspective. Can you imagine if some kind of can you imagine if Alex Jones broke a woman's arm on a boat? I mean, or Donald Trump Jr. or Roger Stone. They broke a woman's arm on a boat. And then the person had to be rescued by a Red Cross rescue boat. My God. Just wow. Just so much wow right there. Reminder, McGregor is the type of scumbag that also bent the knee for the COVID 1984 nightmare, and I want to show people what he was all about during that.
Hello everyone, hello Ireland. I would like to address my nation. To the people of Ireland, to our President Michael D. Higgins, to Vice Admiral Mark Mellett, to Garda Commissioner Drew Harris, Chief Medical Officer Tony Houlihan, Leo, the two Simons, Mary and Mihal. I respect you all greatly, and I would like to put forth some of my thinking. I want to say that while we are all currently debating a full lockdown, I feel that we must. Any time spent debating this is needless time from the clock. I know a good tough fight when I see one, and we have one on our hands now. I want to call upon my people, the great people of Ireland. This fight needs us all. We are all in the red corner together, awaiting the bell. So let's gather together and ring the bell ourselves, including the people of the rest of the world. True lockdown must begin, and it must begin now. A lockdown together, a lockdown united. We must close our airports. We must close all non-essential business. We must cut all non-essential travel. Commissioner Harris and Vice Admiral Mellett, we must prepare and deploy our units to all and any known built-up areas across our country now. President Higgins, you must give these great men and women the power to enforce this task if necessary. However, I know that when the true seriousness of this is understood, as it is becoming now, our great nation will oblige, and impeccably do so. It is time for a full lockdown, and we are ready. Powers that be, I am calling to you all. The fate of our great island depends on it. This is my proposal, and I pray that we can make this happen. We need to take the same measures of some of the heavier affected countries, only we must do it in quicker time. We have the advantage here in that we can see this coming. We can see this coming. But if we do not act on our advantage, then we cannot expect different results. We are not adhering to social distancing, at least not to the extent required to halt exponential growth. A lockdown will facilitate this. It will reduce transmissions, it will take the pressure off of our frontline staff, and it will allow us to identify all of our cases. These methods are stringent but necessary and have worked in China and Hong Kong. Ireland, we have got this. Not only do we have the formula, we have it ahead of time. Let's go Ireland. Let's go rest of the world. Lockdown, united. Together we stand. God bless us all.
Oh, God bless us all. Together we stand. Get off me boat. This guy. That's the guy. Making big dollars. Big dollars. Big dollars for Reebok. Big dollars for ESPN. You know what? During the height of that scandal, it made me gross. Let's see. Conor Reebok commercial. Because, you know, the fact that they actually geared it towards kids, like MMA, whatever, but they geared this whole commercial towards children, and we're just going to watch it because this is how PR, public relations, works. Public relations really like psychological warfare for corporations. That's it. That's all it is. So here's Conor in his Reebok ad. He's a fighting toy. Sure, I'm gonna get a copyright strike for whatever song this is. They're hardcore these days, but we'll stop it there. Again, he's fighting all the bad guys. He's a superhero. He's a toy.
Coming soon. Conor McGregor's in ring, so happening.
Conor McGregor. That's how they portray him. What's the reality? And you notice how these things don't seem to be going anywhere in criminal court. Nowhere. Zippity-doo-dah. Zippity-a. All right. So on the other side of this, we got about 5 minutes left in the free portion of the broadcast. I do want to remind you, if you just want to listen to it, you can come over to the Info Warriors Podbean channel. It's on all the major podcast apps. Even though I feel like we do a show here, it's not just a podcast. Everything's called a podcast, and shows are podcasts at this point. But we try to do an actual show here where we show you the documents, we show you the actual news articles so you can go check them out, check out the headlines. We show you the censorship in real time, all that good stuff. It's not just a talk show. Even with the Rogan podcast, which I think they do a good job, they don't do the kind of job where you can see stuff in real time. You know, even when they show it up on the screen, it kind of looks, come on, Joe. I realize you're getting 100 mil and way more. But come on, let's up the game. Let's get some clips like that. If I can do it, you can do it, and we all can do it. redvoicemedia.com/Jason or /uncensored. Sign up right now for only $1 and you get the first week. Then for every month, it is 10 buckaroos, or you can lock it in, really support the broadcast. Again, redvoicemedia.com/Jason at $100 for the year. Knock 2 months off. We're not going anywhere. We're going to continue all the time. And like I said, first thing is first. When we get on the other side, we're going to play this just about 20-minute conversation with the Pirate Streams crew. Why? I love independent media. That's why. I think independent media is extremely important all across the board. Obviously, I'd like to grow Red Voice Media even further. And I know a lot of you guys are helping with that. Okay? But I believe that we need to raise up as many independent voices as possible. Because you need people with different perspectives putting out not only different breakdowns of documents, etc., but doing different types of investigations. Derek Bros, for instance, who's the Conscious Resistance and does stuff for TLAV as well, is very different from myself. You know, when he gets into an investigation, he gets deep. He's making phone calls. He's on the road. You know, unless I'm doing like a documentary film or having a guest on. And I love that, by the way. I need to get more guests for the show. Problem is, my sleep schedule's still not there. Like, I'll get done, I'll run a few errands, and I'll realize I only got 3.5 hours of sleep last night. So I'll sleep for another 3.5, 4 hours during the day, start doing my thing, and then all of a sudden it's 8, 9 o'clock. I think about what I'm going to be doing for the next show already. Do a thumbnail, get it up there. I think I got my thumbnail up somewhere like 10 p.m. Central, maybe 10:30 Central. I'm up at 5 a.m. I gotta get into old man rhythm, where I'm in bed by 10 and I get that sweet 7 hours in a row. That tasty sweet 7 hours. Woke up to snow this morning. Snow, guys. About 1.5 inches, pretty wet. I had to wipe off the old car to get my Coffinado here, which by now is ice cold. I know, first world problems. Before we go to the other side, I do want to remind everybody here that I am a documentary filmmaker. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade, the motion picture, are free right here, right now. They're also at Red Voice Media. They're also at Rockfin. I want you to share these videos with other people. And really, I feel like this is some of my seminal stuff, and it speaks for itself. We are also on a multitude of other platforms, including Band.video. We're over at BitChute. We're on the Rumble. And by the way, over on Rumble, you can check out, I believe I put it up there. Let's see if the McCullough thing is there. Oh, why is the service not available? Come on. You got to be kidding me, Rumble. You doing me dirty again? Well, we are also on the Rockfin and Podbean as well. That's where we're going to be. And you can also buy me a coffee. Where's the Rockfin? Right here. So, yes, Rockfin. We've got the Dr. Peter McCullough interview as well that you can check out in full, which, great stuff. I do want to thank all the people over at RVM that are cutting up pieces and putting them on Twitter and other social media. You can follow me at Jason Bermas, Bermas. And with that being said, we are going to start leaving all of these other broadcasts. Rockfin, I love you, and I will see you soon. I've also got a spot on Dustin Faulkner's show later in the afternoon, too, so keep a